Station, please.
Net control. Kilo X-ray 4 Lima Echo Oscar Mark.
X-ray 4 Lima Echo Oscar Mark, you're on the log. Thanks for checking in. Next station, please. This is K4VEB net control for the Sumter County MCOM net. We'll now take check-ins from Echolink, All-Star, or any RF station that has not been acknowledged. Please call now.
Whiskey 9, Echo Juliet Hotel, Earl in Bloomer, Wisconsin. Back to Univern, W9EJH.
Whiskey 9, Echo Juliet Hotel, Earl, thanks for checking in, and you're on the log. Any other stations, Echolink, All-Star, or anyone that has not been acknowledged, please call now.
Davenport, Iowa.
We had a double there. Would you come back one more time? I would appreciate that. Missed both call signs. KX4RS, Bobby, you're on the log. And I think the other station was from Echolink or All-Star, so let's give it a little bit of time and try it one more time for me. Sorry about that. I think it's Marty, but come back one more time, please.
W9 Echo Alpha Alpha, Davenport, Iowa.
I was right. Knew it was Marty. W9EAA. Thank you for checking in. You're on the log. Any other station that has not been acknowledged, please call now. Nothing heard. Okay, we'll go ahead and proceed with the business of the net. I will now call representatives of the various organizations for their reports. We will go first of all with our RACES officer, K1MGR. Would you please give your report, Greg?
This is K1MGR, Sumter County RACES. Good evening to all. A couple things. One, we all survived Hurricane Helena. We did very well here in Sumter County. Very lucky. The EOC was activated. However, a decision was made to open actually two shelters, special needs shelter in Wildwood and the fairgrounds shelter in Bushnell. The county assessed the storm situation and potential loss of communications, determined that the threat wasn't there, opted to not activate ham radio. The EOC amateur radio room was operated for about 8 hours on Thursday of last week. A couple folks went in and went over the equipment, checked it out, made sure the frequency plans and the radios were correct. Got things ready to go just in case. So we did all the preliminary stuff, but there was no activation. For those that were available, I appreciate it. You know, it's better to be the bridesmaid, never the bride. Or better to be available, not needed, than to, you know, spend hours and hours in a shelter. But I do appreciate it. Second item, pause. As I'm sure the Sky One coordinator will mention, more storms potentially coming our way. The next one looks to be more of a soaker, less wind, more rain, slow moving. Could have potential. Depending where things go this week, I may be reaching out to people on the RACES side again to see who may be available should we need it. The problem this time will be more tropical type wind and rain. Ground is already very saturated, rivers are already high, so maybe some potential there for activation. Other than that, things are quiet and I appreciate it. Our next meeting will be a week from this Thursday. That'd be the 10th at 6 p.m. at the EOC. Both RACES members and non-members are invited to attend. Hope to see you there. With that, back to net K1MGR.
Thank you for that report, Greg. And the next would would be the Skywarn report, which would be the report that I will give. And Greg did give a little synopsis of what's going on. However, there are more than just one storm out there. In fact, right now they're actually looking at 4, maybe even 5 different disturbances that have not reached any major areas. The one that we're mainly concerned with is one that is called Disturbance 1, and it has not yet reached a tropical depression. However, they say that this system could form a 10% chance of a tropical depression in the next 48 hours, and within the next 7 days it could go up to 40%. This storm is located in the northwestern Caribbean Sea and Gulf of Mexico, and they do believe that it will go ahead and develop, and if that's the case, it is shooting again right into the Gulf. We then have Tropical Depression Joyce, which is more to the north central part of the Atlantic, and it is not forecast to come our way, but probably go further into the northern Atlantic area. Then we also have Kirk, which was AL91. It is now a tropical storm. It's about 100 miles southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands, but again, its projection so far is not to come near us. And then, even further, is tropical, or disturbance number 2. And disturbance number 2 is over the eastern tropical Atlantic, and that one is likely to develop at 60% within the 48 hours and formation up to 90%. But again, it is way away from us, so they don't anticipate anything, but it certainly could. Pause. I was watching on YouTube tonight a helicopter report from over in Pinellas, and the reporter made a very good comment. He said, you know, we normally are used to everybody saying, you know, hey, there's a wolf, there's a wolf, there's a wolf, and no wolf ever appeared, so everybody becomes very, very lackadaisical and doesn't really do anything about it. Well, this time the wolf really appeared. And if you take a look over on the Barrier Islands where I used to live, I mean, a tremendous amount of damage there, how high the water was in the buildings and the amount of sand that was washed through the buildings onto even Gulf Boulevard is just absolutely amazing. And in fact, Pinellas still is at a level 1 activation at their EOC. So you can see we did luck out being here. There's no question about that. Pause. We do need to certainly be vigilant in regard to these storms, because we don't want to be the people that are the ones that are crying wolf and then we're not ready. So what is it looking like locally? What we've got going on here, the precipitation coverage will increase more on Tuesday. There is a portions of the Florida Peninsula, and given the position of the Atlantic Ridge axis around central Florida, this shall allow for the sea breezes from both coasts to spread inland and collide in the interior area, which of course is us, with the highest rain chances for the central and northern portions of the region. By the middle of the week, easterly flow develops across the region as a cold front approaches northern Florida on Wednesday. Attention then turns to the south in the Caribbean Sea because of this disturbance that I just talked about, the disturbance number 1, and since they're still not sure how it's going to affect us, they do believe that it will certainly develop, which will take the fact that we will have more winds and more rains later in the week. So temperature-wise, we're looking at for the week in the high 80s, low 90s, with rain chances of 40 to 50% through the week. So that is a Skywarn report for this evening. Do we have the CERT representative? If you would please give your report.
Good evening to everybody on the net. This is KDA-WAA with the CERT update. We activated on Friday and conducted a new task from the Village's Public Safety, which is our charter organization. And what we did is we teamed up with CERT members and Community Watch, and the 18 Community Watch drivers in the villages ran their routes, and the CERT representative riding along documented any damage. Fortunately, as has been reported, very light damage, and so the new task went very well, and we turned our information in. However, we were using forms as the fabulous Survey 123, which is the GIS tool, didn't work. So, and that's with cell phones, and I mean, it's not even really gray skies, it's more like partly cloudy skies. But anyway, that was an issue, that didn't work. I'm going to pause. Continuing, we've got the CERT General Meeting, for those of you who are CERT members, on Thursday, October 3rd at the Rohan Recreation Center at 6:30 p.m. For those who are interested in joining the CERT organization, we have a new member training session that starts on October 7th. There's still a couple openings that I'm aware of, so if you're interested, please click on the link on certaofthevillages.org. and be sure you get your application in there. It's not a complicated form by any stretch of the imagination. So that's the report from CERT. This is KD8WAA, back to net control.
Thank you for that report, Steve. Appreciate that. Let's move on over to the Aries representative. Mark, are you available, KX4LEO?
KX4LEO, good evening from Sumter County, Aries. Not much more can be said about the storm that hasn't already been said, so, but I do want to say, due to the storm's path and expected minimal risk for Sumter County, although we were prepared to do so, it was not necessary for Sumter County, Aries to elevate its alert level. We were able to remain at no alert status. Nonetheless, I want to thank all Sumter County, Aries members who remain vigilant and ready to respond if called upon. I also want to especially thank those members who volunteered to help others in our local amateur radio community prepare for the storm. We did get a few requests for some assistance, and we were there to help them. And also I want to thank those who offered to deploy to affected areas outside of our own county if the request was received from the section. Especially proud to belong to a team that holds our mission in such high regards. I'll pause. And I want to remind everybody that the National Night Out is going to be this coming Friday, October 4th. It's from 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Sumter County Fairgrounds, which is on 471, just north of Webster. Sumter County Aries will have a booth there. The event is an annual event, and it's coordinated and hosted by the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. There's a number of businesses there, and it's a good opportunity for Aries to show the capability of amateur radio to the community, the capabilities of amateur radio in emergency communications. I will not be present, but our operations section chief, Jeff Tafuri, will be in charge of the event. If you'd like to know more about that event, you can go to the SumterAries.org website, and under the What's New tab, you'll see the National Night Out listed there, and a link you can click on for more information. Pause. I'm sure Jeff could use some assistance manning the booth and also setting up, so if you're interested in volunteering to help out with that, please get with KO4NCC, and his email address is on the website. Back to net control, KX4LEO.
Thank you, Mark, for that report. And now let's move over to the TVARC representative. Steve, KD8WAA, are you available?
Yeah, KD8WAA here. Two things. One, because of the inclement weather, the member picnic that was scheduled for Thursday the 26th, perfect timing, was canceled and will be rescheduled. Watch the website for that. And finally, the TVARC member meeting will be at the Eisenhower Rec Center at 6 p.m. on October 17th. So, since Greg's meeting is the week before, you have no excuse not to, those of you in the village, not to go to the Village's Amateur Radio Club meeting. Not sure what the speaker will be, but it's always informative. This is KD8WAA, and thanks for taking the net tonight, and back to net control.
Thank you, Steve, for that report. Are there any announcements, bulletins, or information for the net? If so, please call now. This is K4VEB net control for the Sumter County MCOM net, and I do have two announcements. Number one, I don't know if any of you noticed today, but I got emails telling me that the Verizon cell service was off in a lot of parts of the country. So again, a good purpose of making sure we keep our radios working and are able to communicate with them. Second thing that I would like to announce is that we do need net control operators. Can you believe that? Yes, we do. There's a lot of openings in October and November, so please go on SumterAries.org and go to the net and go to sign up to be a net control. It's not hard to do, and we really do need you. So, with that, are there any other bullets, announcements, or information for the net? Please come now.
Net control information, KD8WAA.
KWAA, go ahead, please.
Just wanted to remind everybody that there have been several stories circulating of bad actors who have infiltrated the country, and obviously we're coming up on a pretty big anniversary date of October 7th, so everybody, and for those of you who haven't checked the news lately, apparently Israel has invaded Lebanon, so for a lot of reasons, you might want to keep your head on a swivel and just be extra vigilant again, and be ready in case comms suffer issues like they did inexplicably for Verizon. As Vern mentioned, some of the outages on that extended as far away as Denver, Colorado. So definitely vigilance is called for. KD8WA.
Good point, Steve. Thank you for bringing that up. If there's any station that has not been acknowledged and would like to check into the Sumter County MCOM net, please call now. Is there any formal NTS traffic at this time? If you'd like more information in regard to MCOM races or Skywarn, please contact Greg, K1MGR, the Sumter County Races Officer, at k1mgr@arrl.net. If you'd like more information about Skywarn, contact Vern, K4VEB, at sumterskywarn@gmail.com. And with that, I'll go ahead and begin the formal closing of the net. I thank you all for checking in this evening, 73 to all of you. Hope you all have a very pleasant week. All invited to the next scheduled weekly net, held each Monday at 9:30 hours Eastern Time. In the event of an emergency or call out, this repeater will be activated as an administrative operational net here on the KS4 EOC repeater on a frequency of 146.925 megahertz with an access tone of 123 hertz. Please remember that during an operational net, this frequency is for MCOM communication only. Our simplex net frequency is 147.585 megahertz. Additionally, activation of a logistics net may occur on the K4HOG repeater on a frequency of 147.030 MHz with an access tone of 123 Hz. Please monitor the logistics net upon its activation to obtain information necessary for assignment, possible deployment, and general information unless otherwise stated. The KI4DUIE repeater on a frequency of 145.490 MHz with an access tone of 123 Hz will be used as needed. This is K4VEB now closing the Sumter County EMCOM net at 20:56 hours Eastern Time. I thank the repeater owner, the Sumter County Emergency Management, for the use of their equipment. I am now returning the frequency back to regular amateur use. Good evening, everyone. Wish you all a pleasant week. 73. This is Kilo 4, Victor Echo Bravo. Clear.
This is the KS4EOC repeater, located in Sumterville, Florida, owned and operated by Sumter County Emergency Management. The time is 9 p.m.
KF4EOC. Repeater. KS4EOC repeater.
Fraser won the first match. Ali with controversy won the second fight. What other programs do you have? Any documentation? No, I don't have documentation. And you threw the shoes in, but the note that says, these are the shoes that